water shortages being experienced in various parts of the country, many companies and households have resorted to alternative water sources. This has also been the case with electricity as load shedding increased significantly this year. Now, our reporter Ahmed Kajee is looking at this particular story for us and joins us now live from Ilovo. That's one of the areas that have been affected by the water shortages. Ahmed, how are the businesses there functioning?
Thank you very much, Clement. And yes, alternative water supply is exactly what our businesses are now looking to doing, whether that be through boreholes or perhaps even installing water tankers, either at individual businesses or at business complexes in general. That's exactly what we are seeing from business point of view as well. Just to give you some context, over the last 72 hours, areas including Sandton, Ilovo, Alexandra, and even Midrand have faced water shortages or water cuts throughout the 72 hours. And that's something we also have seen been experienced by residents of Johannesburg in the Greenside and Marentia region. That's in perhaps the western suburbs, and then also in the East Rand, out in Kensington, Bedfordview, Bruma, and Cyril Dean. There happen to be failures of infrastructure on that side of Johannesburg, and that's also resulted in water shortages and water cuts. Many residents in those particular areas also looking at water tankers in their households. And then also speaking towards load shedding, solar panels and inverters is something that we have seen a spike in over the last 3 to 4 years or so, and more so over the last 12 to 18 months as the load shedding has increased. But with this particular week and the last 72 hours focusing specifically on those water shortages in the northern suburbs in north of Johannesburg, I'm now joined by Shazad Kasim. He is the owner and manager here at the La Creamerie restaurant here in Ilovo. Shazad, thanks very much for your time today. We have seen water shortages in this particular area. You must have adapted your way some way, somehow.
So we are lucky because our center has a borehole. So we were lucky to have water supply. But I see it is a problem in Johannesburg, and I think more businesses, as we did with the load shedding, we had to adapt and put in generators, inverters, etc. We're going to have to adapt with the water supply as well. We are already looking, we have other branches, we're looking at putting JoJo tanks in there so that we know we have some sort of backup plan. Because with the heat that we have currently, I do foresee it becoming a problem.
With the borehole water, has there been a change in terms of the output that you can do in terms of beverages, as borehole water may not always be ready for consumption?
So we do have filtering systems built in, so for us it's all okay. But where the water pressure is a little bit lower, so we are trying to save water, number one, and number two, on production it is slightly slower, but it doesn't affect us too much.
You speak about your other branches needing to then install tankers, JoJo tanks or any other water tankers for that matter. That must then be a significant cost which you'll then be incurring, which could affect your bottom line.
It is. It will affect our bottom line. The thing is, with businesses in South Africa today, we are going through a lot with the load shedding, with the water shortages, but it's something that you have to do. You can't live without it. And I think with the load shedding, it's expected from your clientele now that you do have a contingency. And with water, it's life. You need it. You can't not have it.
I mean, over the last few years, people normally would stay home during load shedding periods. Do you see an increase in customer base with the increase in load shedding stages?
So people do come out when there's load shedding because there's no place to cook. So we do see an increase in numbers when there is load shedding. Yes.
And then finally, just heading into the holiday season, many people will be actually increasing now, one would assume, from the 16th onwards as businesses close. Are you expecting to have your contingency plans with your water tankers at other branches installed by then to ensure there's no drop in productivity?
Yes, we are busy with it at the moment, so as soonest we will try and get it sorted out before the festive.
Shazad Kasim, thanks very much for your time. It's greatly appreciated. There you have it, Clement. Just some of the contingencies that many of the businesses are looking at working with, specifically around the water shortages and the water cuts that we have seen in different experiences, in different regions rather. And then also just looking at some of the particular contingencies around load shedding, solar panels and inverters, which seems to have become the norm over the last 18 months. We'll obviously be keeping tabs with regards to what those water supply and electricity supply will be looking like heading into the holiday season, starting probably from the next week, heading into the second week of January. Clement.
Ahmed Kajee, live to us from Ilovo. Thank you.